million jobs, that's funny. The last time I looked, we had record unemployment. The last time I looked, Obama's stimulus was creating jobs overseas, not here in America. Oh, I get it. He's created 1 million jobs in China. Thank you, Joe Biden. Play the next clip.
As Australia's Prime Minister Kevin Rudd said a couple of weeks ago, and I quote, "This is a case study in bringing the world back from the brink, and it was the American leadership from President Obama that was the key," end of quote. You know, it all adds up to this, in my view at least. The Recovery Act has played a significant role in changing the trajectory of our economy and changing the conversation about the economy in this country. Instead of talking about the beginning of a depression, we're talking about the end of a recession 8 months after taking office.
So now he's asking Australians what he should think about the economy. Hey, Mr. Biden, why don't you ask one of the American factory workers whose jobs were sent to China how he thinks Obama's doing? Next.
The Recovery Act is not a single silver bullet. I think of it as silver buckshot as opposed to a single bullet. In 200 days, the President's Recovery and Reinvestment Act isn't just working toward something. Isn't just working. It's working toward something. It's working toward a more resilient, more transformative economy.
Silver buckshot, transformative economy. Mr. Biden, if you think sending gang members out to make people put solar panels on their roofs is going to transform our economy into anything but a police state and a disaster, you've got another think tank coming. Today, I'm learning how to deal with this, problem of David and Goliath. It isn't easy being David with Goliath clumping around. Today I was on my bicycle, as I usually am most days. So I don't know what it was. I was pushing my bicycle across a crosswalk, and a truck went by. A guy stopped, and he let me pass. I usually say thank you. I said thank you with a wave. And he yelled out, "Mike, I love your show. Michael, I love your show. I'm with you on the England thing." And you know what? It was so it gave me so much enthusiasm to realize that there are people out there who really do listen to the show, who really do hear what's going on in the world around them, who really do know that an injustice has been done to an innocent man, and they are on my side. So don't think it doesn't matter. Your mere thinking about me helps. When Labor Day is over, I'm going to actually ask you to help me through a letter-writing campaign and an email campaign. We're going to e-blast Congress. We're going to try and get the few honest men and women left in Congress to demand that the British government take my name off the list and do the right thing. And you're going to have a big role in that. Remember, you stopped the Dubai ports deal. You stopped the illegal aliens with the McCain-Kennedy bill to grant amnesty to 30 million illegal aliens. You did that. You do have the power to control your country. Don't be so defeated by Obama and his minions in the press to think that you've lost control of the country. If anything, you've actually seen that you have more power than you did under Bush. If you could see what effect the town halls have had already on derailing, the town hall meetings derailed the plan for socialized medicine that the Democrats wanted to impose upon you. The town hall meetings have driven Obama's ratings into the basement, and they're going lower every day. In fact, my belief is that after the polls are taken, after the release of the Lockerbie terrorist and Obama's, I would say, tepid, meek, anemic response to it, I think his poll numbers will drop another 4 to 5 points in this week. By mere fact that he continued to go away on vacation, that he did not take credit for the corruption of Charles Schumer's Cash for Clunkers program, $2 billion burned up. Where'd the money go? Who got that money? Why did Schumer want another $2 billion? Who was investigating Schumer? Was it the CIA? Is that why suddenly they released the ACLU on the CIA? You don't see any connections there. I do. I see tremendous political connections because the ACLU has been dying to do this for a couple of months now, but they were held back by the Obamaites. Why suddenly, when Obama went to Martha's Vineyard, was the radical ACLU unleashed on the CIA? What was the CIA about to release on Obama or on Schumer or on the ACLU itself, if anything? We don't know. And the reason we don't know is we don't have a free press anymore. If we still had a vigorous investigative press, if we still had a great cadre of investigative reporters who truly were independent, I think these questions would be answered. But we don't. Unfortunately, we don't. By the way, one of the greatest contributors to Pelosi is, again, the Sandler team. They're monster contributors to Nancy Pelosi. John in Florida, welcome to the Savage Nation.
Mike, how are you? My comment relates to you were talking about logical thinking. And basically, you were talking about the CIA and who unleashed the ACLU on the CIA. Well, several months back, Nancy Pelosi was called to the carpet about waterboarding, how she said she was never at the meeting when they
That's correct.
Waterboarding.
That is right. She made herself the number one enemy of the CIA. It was the CIA versus Pelosi. So you think she pulled the trigger?
Revenge is best served cold. So she disappeared to China shortly thereafter, went on a world tour, and then all of a sudden she comes back and flies under the radar, and now the CIA is under
right. No, she's a very, very, very powerful woman, perhaps the most powerful woman in the United States of America, and there's no reason to believe that you're wrong. So you have to ask yourself, what did the CIA have on Pelosi that she hates them so much? I mean, it's one thing to be a radical left-wing politician. It's another thing to go after the very defense cells of a nation. Why would she go after the white blood cells of America? Would anyone listening to this show tell me that the vermin in the ACLU are our best defenders? That you would trust the country to these radical lawyers, these perverts, and these drug addicts? 1-800-449-8255, michaelsavage.com. Please visit the website. Visit me on Facebook. Whatever the address is, it's on my website. I speak, therefore I am, every day, 3 hours a day, and that's what it is. That's what it's all about. Any topic comes up, it comes up out of the blue sometimes. Yes, I do research. Yes, I have a staff of 3, 4, 5 people pulling stories. Yes, there are stories I think that are in the news that I like to talk about, but in the midst of it, I will bring things up that are not in the news, such as I did today. I bring new elements to it, such as why today. You hear that the media immediately jumps and says that they put a loaded gun to the terrorist's head. Did they shoot him? No. That they threatened the terrorist's family. So what? So what do you mean they threatened the family? These are people who either were involved with or would actually kill your family. I give a rat's behind whether or not the brave men who had the guts to actually go into an interrogation room with them threatened their family and didn't actually hurt their family. Are you kidding me? When we're dealing with the most horrendous people on the planet? I don't think you people live in the real world who would take the side of the ACLU. I think you live in a dreamland. I think that you're either drug addicted or you were raised by very, very sick red diaper doper baby parents, and you are the sum total, the product of a red diaper doper baby upbringing, an RDDB. And right now the country is being run by the RDDBs, the red diaper doper babies. And boy, are we in trouble. This is the Savage Nation. Everything that your ancestors fought against, the fear that communists would change our way of life, that communists would take over America, everything that your ancestors may have died for has happened. We have a naked communist in the White House. I stand by those words. And I'll repeat why over and over again. A, he surrounds himself with czars like Van Jones who are open Leninist Marxists. Number 2, look at this now. Take a look at this. Honduras. They throw out the corrupt Marxist dictator, Zelaya. His own Supreme Court throws him out. The people said, no, you're not going to come back. You had your terms. You served them. There are term limits. He said, no, I want to do away with term limits. I want another term. It went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said to Zelaya, get out of the Honduras. He comes back. The military throws him out. Take a guess what Obama just did with Hillary Clinton. The United States took the side of the communist dictator Zelaya in Honduras. How many different ways do you have to see what's going on? They're nice to Chavez, who is in Syria, saying that Israel's a cancer on the world. Chavez, Zelaya, Obama. How far do you think it has to go until you wake up one day and you're a prisoner in your own country? And why are the Republicans silent? Where is the Republican Party? They're worthless. They're totally worthless. What good are they? You know, in England, you have a corrupt labor socialist government under Gordon Brown, as you well know, who banned me from entering the country because they're afraid of my stand on many issues, including borders, language, and culture. This piece of garbage is the man behind releasing the Lockerbie bomber. The people in England hate his guts. He's going to be thrown out very shortly, and a so-called shadow government, which exists now, will take power. See, they always have two parties in England. They have the party in power. Then they have what's called a shadow government. We should have a shadow government called the opposition, meaning the minority party, but they're silent. Why are they so silent? Why are the Republicans silent? And is their silence not complete? Does that silence not indicate a complicit acceptance of the Obama Marxism? How many years did I warn you that George Bush was a fiscal socialist? How many years did I say to you, George Bush is not a fiscal conservative? I was the first in the media to note it. I was the first in the media to say it. Unfortunately, no one listened to me, as they're not hearing me now. George Bush is the man who greased the skids for the takeover by this imposter, Obama. The same power structure that put Bush in wanted Obama in, and they're making billions and billions of dollars off Obama's policies.
Savage. Michael Savage. Afternoons 3 to 7 on Talk 910 KNEW and online at 910KNEW.com.